the fires. Then we'll smoke out the liars. We don't give up when we're tired. That isn't the way that I'm wired.
Hi guys, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to be going over some Battlefield 5 gameplay. Firestorm is finally here, and we're going to be telling you what we think after day one. So, after day one, I've got 4 wins after playing it for a couple of hours, and I'll give you my first impression. First initial reaction, game looks beautiful, right? The environment, everything around it, it looks insane. It's all insanely well done, well thought of. The terrain, the snow, the sun, is incredible. When you initially drop into the map, the circle already starting closed in is pretty cool, because then you kind of get a different map in some senses, because there's just different areas each time you play that you can go to or you can't go to, which I think is quite cool. So when I first started playing it, great, but then as I got into it, it was the only the problem I had with it was the horrible UI system, which took me ages, the inventory system, to get used to, like just dropping ammo, swapping ammo, getting the bits you want on your D-pad. Did turn out to be quite hard, and it was quite niggly, and I can imagine a lot of players getting frustrated with that, because sometimes in the heart of battle you do want to just quickly drop zone or quickly give zone over to a teammate, and without playing it for a fair amount of time you're not going to get really quick on it. The other thing which I think most people struggle is the change of pace, because a lot of people have been playing like Apex and Blackout, which can be quite fast paced. This game is more tactical. There's a lot of realism in it, so even the looting's slow, the sniping, which I personally like. I prefer realism, like Apex Legends, great, but winning doesn't feel that great, because, I don't know, winning doesn't feel that great in Apex because it's quite easy to do, I find. Whereas in this it's quite hard, because someone just having a better position, or someone just tucked up out the way on a hill with a sniper rifle can just take you clean out. I did play squads and solos, and I got wins in both. Solos is very tactical. We had quite a cool end on the one I won, where it ended on a boat, which is nice. But I'm going to go over tips and tricks for squads and solos and things you can do. But initial reaction, the game looks good. It's a bit clunky on dropping ammo and stuff like that. It was quite frustrating, which I do think most people will get annoyed by. However, the final sort of circles look insane. The visuals on this game are incredible. I honestly cannot stress it enough. Like the fire, when you're running level with the fire, it just breaks all the houses down. And in the final couple of circles, wherever you look, there's fires to the side of you and in front of you and behind you, it does just look incredible. It does just look insane. But overall, it is a great game. I can't get away from that. It might be a bit biased because I do like the realism, but I think for people that aren't too much into the realism will struggle with it, because it's a lot more slow paced. If you've been hammering Apex Legends like I have, and then you've swapped this, you're like, what? There's 5 to 10 minutes in the game where I am just looting and looking around, because it is like a battle royale survival type game, scavenge and survive. It's not about kills, it is about surviving. You run into a squad of 4 and you're not going to outplay them, because they will just gun you down. A good squad. The vehicle aspect's quite cool. The vehicles aren't too overpowering because of the fuel, which I was a bit worried about. For a second, people just sitting in tanks. A lot of anti-tank you can find around, like a lot of RPG type things, and you can just blow up tanks, landmines to tanks. There's a lot to get rid of tanks. But also with the fuel and the ammo tanks have, doesn't make it quite hard. When you're doing them rare tank locations where you can undo the doors, it's really loud. Cracking safes is really fun. Destroying buildings is brilliant. It is great. You do have to, if you're playing a squad, set up like a proper squad. If you're all sitting in one house, you're going to get blown a bit. So you'd want one with a good vantage point, overlooking one. It just feels a lot realer. So if you love realism and you love PUBG, it is the game for you. But if you do like that run and gun type style and you just like to get in, get loads of kills, then you'll probably find it quite frustrating. But for me, I love the change up. I love the realism. I love the fire. I can't, until you play, you won't understand the visuals. The fire looks insane. Just overall, the game is insane. Vehicles aren't too overpowering, which I was very worried about. But overall, I do recommend you jump in and try it. I would say it is worth buying. Just overall, yeah, great game. And I'm going to put up some gameplay and tips and tricks coming up. So I hope you guys enjoyed my first quick reaction. And in the next couple of days, I'll have some tips for you to win. Catch you guys in a bit.